Here is a quick reading for the Aquarius full moon. Wise Dog Tarot, a gift from my fabulous friend Dory Grosshauser, created by MJ Cullinane. I wanted to use this because so much of my life is dedicated to dogs right now, but also Ace of Swords on the bottom of the deck, because it's a full moon with Sun and Moon square Uranus, and that means do it different, make a change, try something in a new and dexterous way. Try and find moral clarity by changing, there it is again, your position on some long-held beliefs. And you know I love those animal cards. They're the ones I've had the longest. They're the ones that I resonate with and probably know the best. So I'm going to throw myself into unknown territory live for all of you, and we can check my divination chops in kind of a jazz sort of way here. Om Doom Durgaye Namaha. Om Shrim Mahalakshmiye Namaha. Om Aim Saraswatiye Namaha. Om. 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 And then what we'll do instead of our usual moon spreads is Celtic cross. Because of all of the oppositions and squares in the sky, a cross seems appropriate. So, first card out of the deck representing, it's the signifier card, so it represents all of us. It's the human collective at this full moon. Ooh, the Magician. I love it. We were just talking about the fact that we need to be dexterous, we need to be adaptable, and the Magician has all the ability to do that, has the ability to, like a Watoto dream, change reality with the use of the imagination. And that is possibly one of the highest expressions of a full moon T-square Uranus, is to be able to change reality to suit our dreams. And that is us at this full moon. Very exciting. Now, the difficulty we encounter, the obstacle that crosses us, the Page of Cups. Interesting cards, pages. Their initiatory energy, their adolescent energy. I've heard this described as, you know, like a suitor bringing you a fish, a dead fish in a cup. And maybe the way this pup is kind of looking at that fish sums up what is a possible action in this card. It crosses us, so there's a sense of something apologetic here. Something's not going quite right in the emotional department. And there is a sense that that is an obstacle. There is a very youthful neotness, refusing to move on from an adolescent standpoint that is almost being apologized for. And I can see that in so many of the leaders of our time. You know, they've kind of been caught with their hands in the cookie jar, and there's a sense that we're all mad at the way leadership is going. So I feel like that obstacle is what's being called. We as humanity do not have difficulty accessing our compassion. Why do our systems of control and governance not reflect our ability to be compassionate, humanitarian, loving, optimizing, entities that want goodness on the planet. Almost everybody I know does. No one wants war. No one wants the things that are happening in our world right now to continue on forever. And yet we have leaders in place that are almost making sure that they will. So moving on from our obstacle, we're going to find out what this point in time, this cross of time and space, is founded in. It is grounded in the 5 of Wands. This is a perfect Mercury retrograde during an unprecedented full moon with tons of squares card. It is that verbal sparring. It is that too much communication, too much information. Our situation is grounded in a polluted noosphere, right? We can't get the moral clarity. We can't get the mental dexterity we need in an atmosphere of all this junk, this lack of truth, this situation where all of our systems don't represent the things that they're supposed to protect, but represent the inverse. Too much communication, too many lies. That's what this situation is founded in. Oh, I really like this reading so far. It is crowned by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pentacles. And pentacles represent the material world. It represents the coming of a harvest. Oh, I'm sorry, I counted it wrong. No, I didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 there. You can't see the last one. It's kind of faded under his foot, right? So this is not a young dog, right? We don't have a puppy like we do in the Page of Cups. We don't have a whole bunch of kind of middle year animals, or an older dog is who we are, and we're waiting on our harvest, right? We're waiting to be able to see if the fruits of our hard work will be there for us, or if this obstacle will delay or take them. Now, we're moving away from this cute little diggity, the 3 of Wands. Now, the 3 of Wands is kind of a card of enchantment, but in the Rider-Waite Tarot, it's a man looking out over the sea toward his ships on the horizon. So this is like a card of expectation. And we're moving away from perfect square to Uranus, right? We're moving away from what we expected. The realm of surprise is what we're moving away from. What we're moving toward, the unconscious. This is the place that we dare not look. This is the deep that we must enter as opposed to the shore that we must leave, right? This is that repository of difficulty. The things that we've denied must be our future. We must face our fear. We must face what we have set in motion causally. And there's no real reason to fear that if you've gone at it with an open heart and purity of mind. That moral clarity will give us the plan, even in territory that we've never been to before. And that's what I really want to say is ahead of us. But that doesn't sound like saying very much, right? Is territory we've never been to before. This is the 3rd of 3 unprecedented full moons. We are definitely in astrological territory that's new to us, but we do have some precedent. The years 1965, 1966, and 1968 can be our guideposts here. The things we left behind there are the things we're heading toward now. And I want to say that there was a huge amount of social change, a lot of societal and structural change. And it's kind of where we started with police and policing, due to the children of the 60s wanting this summer of love to kind of take them away from the military-industrial complex. And that reckoning is still ahead of us. You know, truth be known. Remember, never forget, that we have all the tools we need to navigate this. And we have a harvest coming. But we will be judged upon what we've done in the past. And on how adept we are at overcoming the obstacles of too much communication, the flashbang society, and marketing and internet, as far as I can tell. All right. Now we get another representation of the significator. Given all of this, who we are in all of this is the Wheel of Fortune. We are undecided. This is an important card for an Aquarian full moon, especially with this many squares in it, because as you'll see, Leo is down here, which is the opposite of Aquarius. We have the bull up here, which is Taurus, which is where Uranus is, right? Over on this side, we have Virgo, which is where our next moon is, and also where the eclipses are that are starting again next month. And down here we have Scorpio, which in the sidereal chart is the recipient of everything that's going on right now. So, first of all, my empathy, compassion, and sympathy for all the Scorpios, all the sidereal Scorpios. But also, this is the unwritten card, right? This is the turning of the wheel. This is the change of an age. It's like the beginning of the Lord of the Rings, right? There's going to be this final contest with darkness. But who we are in that could turn on a dime. I love this reading. Oh my God, it's so good. I'm going to use your cards forever, Dory. All right. Now, all around us, we will find that there is the sun. And this is Leo, right? So not only the heat of the communication, because Mercury is combust in, it's combust. I mean, it's in the sun, and the sun is moving in the sidereal chart, which is why I didn't give you a sign right away. It moves into Leo, but it moves into Virgo in the tropical chart very soon too. So everything mutable, like it goes from a fixed situation at this full moon into a quickly changing situation. And I think the heat of the sun underneath it makes these obstacles seem much bigger than they are, but it's also burning out the impurities of them. So keep in mind that while there's all this movement and, you know, this kind of inhale and exhale, expansion and contraction going on, a lot of stuck energy is being moved, and a lot of it is being forced, like plate tectonically. So we need to be able to hop, and we need to be able to move, but all around us is beneficial, purifying energy, even if it's hot, even if it's burning. It's still potentially beneficial. But there's definite uncertainty in the path forward, and we want to be able to, you know, be dexterous in this situation. Now, what we hope and fear is the next card, and our hopes and fears in this are the Knight of Cups. This is a love that comes in quickly but is not true. And I think we've had enough of that, frankly. We've not had the kind of really important, long-lasting, inclusive sentiment that we need. We've had a lot of people writing up with fish in cups, right? Dead fish in a cup kind of energy, like, yeah, I love you, but only for tonight kind of thing. The Knight of Cups, I don't want to dismiss him outright. I also want to say that this is, kind of sophomore in college sort of energy, where the page is truly youngster energy, middle school kind. This is learning love. And I think as a hope and fear card, it goes very well with the mercurial, kind of mutable, dynamic situation that we have going on here. We're not perfect at compassion, obviously, but the potential and the open-heartedness is here. It's just puppy love. For it to mature into a dog will take some time. And maybe that even refers to the time when Mercury goes direct. I think that's next week. So it's been an extraordinarily long Mercury retrograde. And we've seen the crowd strike. We've seen, AI beginning to fall. So many communications changes. But I think the one that is occurring in our hearts, because Leo is opposite this full moon in both charts, is the real dynamicism. It's the real equilibrium that's being sought. I keep coming back to that quote from Howard's End, but to greet with an equal eye the shore that we must leave and the deep that we must enter. The way in which life is indeed challenging, but it is a romance. We can't forget that through all of this, the most important part is the heart, the eternal heart, the cup of love. And we both hope for it and fear it. I really resonate with that. That is a big deal in my world. All right, now, finally, an outcome card, which goes with the moon and the Seven of Pentacles. This card of harvesting our karma, harvesting our wealth and what we've put energy into, and not knowing whether we're good or not, right? This is the card of, is humanity good? And I wrote about that in the blog. I hope you have time to read it. The final outcome card for this particular reading, I love this reading, is the Eight of Wands. This is powerful, loving communication. This is a message of hope, a message of peace, and a message of love. I can't do better to describe it than that. So let me just take you back through this one last time with the 3 outcome cards as our biggest determinants, right? The determinants, but we're the Wheel of Fortune and we're the Magician, so who knows? Our identity here is changeable. The question of whether or not humanity is good is coming to its harvest. We are moving away from the materialism of our ships coming in, but we are crossed by immaturity, emotional immaturity. Emotional immaturity founded in confabulation, increased communication, data overload, too much information in the modern age. The ancient axes still apply, and we still turn upon the wheel of Dharma. As we move through this purification process, we will find our hearts, and we will find the hopeful communication, the loving communication, the way to speak to each other that helps. On the bottom, so good, you guys, the Eight of Cups. Walking away from an old tradition. That one of the great readers on YouTube calls this the "Does my ass look great as I'm walking away" card, which if you're an Aries of any sort, you know, yes it does. This is the Uranus card, right? This is the emotional Uranus card. Moving away from a situation that no longer serves in order to find that ninth cup, your wish fulfillment, the ability to create your dreams in the material world with the unconscious and hard work. There's a lot of translation going on in this spread, but I couldn't be more pleased with it. And I think honestly, we have to be willing to adapt. We have to be willing to move away from our long-held beliefs in this moment, because freedom means being free of attachment from our thoughts, beliefs, and the things we need to have happen in the outer world. This is all about what we need to have happen within and emotionally. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck next 2 weeks and into the month, and I'll see you again at the new moon.